Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up, guys? What's up, everybody? Jeannie Love says hello. What's up, Jeannie? We are finally here. So, I hope you guys are all good morning. What's happening? Um, we're going to get started on this, guys. This live stream, I've got a number of things to talk to you guys about when in regard to Gears of War. It's crazy, man. Went live on What's Up, D Parks? I'm ready for the weekend. Yeah, it's just it's Tuesday, right? So, anyways, as people are coming into the chat, welcome, guys. It's Zero here, bringing you guys a live stream. You know, I felt really bad because this past weekend, everybody was probably wondering, wait, is Zero going to bring out any content in relation to Gears of War? And what got announced at the summer, or I should say Summer Game Fest, but also obviously Xbox Game Showcase for Gears of War Reloaded, Gears of War E-Day. So we're going to be breaking down a lot of these things here in this live stream because, yeah, I got a lot of stuff to say in relation to. We're going to be specifically talking about the Xbox Game Showcase because, yeah, there were some games that got announced at the Summer Game Fest that I thought look awesome. Resident Evil Requiem looks great. There's a number of games that look really good. But the big one specifically, and by the way, guys, we did go live. We had a watch party for the Xbox Game Showcase on Horror Theory. Jeff and I did a watch party there where we were reacting to all the stuff that was coming out about the from the Xbox Game Showcase. James William, yo, bro, what's up, man? How you doing? But anyways, we were reacting to a number of the games that were coming out from the Xbox Game Showcase, and I'm going to tell you guys this. Jeff gave the Xbox Game Showcase like a 7 out of 10. There was definitely some interesting stuff that they showed off at the Xbox Game Showcase, but I will say, in my mind at least, I think that even though there was a lot of good things, I think there was a lot of shit that they showed as well. Like a lot of things that I was not really, some of the names of some of the games like were just kind of like wild, and that has no bearing on whether the game's going to be good or not, guys, but just from, some of the stuff that they announced, Clockwork Revolution looks great. Grounded 2 looks interesting. They've got, like I said, they've got a number of games that look really interesting. Jeannie says, I've always wanted Gears on PlayStation, so this still doesn't feel real. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that obviously Gears of War Reloaded was the highlight of the Xbox Game Showcase for myself. Jeff as well. Jeff, we both, and I think Jeff really liked Clockwork Revolution as well. But I'll just speak up, from my perspective, Gears of War Reloaded was the highlight of the Xbox Game Showcase. Let's not even talk about Call of Duty, man. I do not know what Xbox was thinking with dropping a Black Ops 7 coming off the heels of Black Ops 6. That was the blunder of the entire event, in my opinion. I think it was the worst Call of Duty trailer I've ever witnessed, I've ever seen. We were wondering, is this going to be, a new Mass Effect, a new, like a new BioShock, like what, or a new Halo? Like, what is this that they're showing us? And I got to tell you, I thought it was going to be Halo. In the live stream, I was like, oh, this might be the new Halo, but man, it looks weird. And then they announced it as the new Call of Duty. So, look, I don't really even want to get into it too much. Beast of Reincarnation looks really good from Game Freak, no less. Yeah. No, for sure. The name is different to me, for sure. That was one of those that I was like, Beast of Reincarnation? Like, what? Like, what kind of name is that? But anyway, let's talk about Gears, guys. That's what we're here for. This is what obviously very passionate about Gears of War. We've been creating a lot of Gears of War content on the YouTube channel. And so let's dissect this, break down what we saw from the Xbox Game Showcase in relation to Gears of War. So obviously we got Gears of War Reloaded. We saw, they announced a beta, which is really what's interesting, guys, is during the live stream or the watch party that we were doing, they didn't, at least if maybe I totally missed it, but at the end of the trailer of Gears of War Reloaded, I thought they were going to announce a beta, and I didn't see it, at least, and maybe it was up there, but I didn't see it. And so I reacted to that saying, dude, I really hope that they're going to have a beta for this game. Well, we come to find out later on social media, Gears of War posted on X and on like Facebook and stuff, that there is going to be a beta. It's going to start this upcoming weekend, and it's going to be running, basically essentially 2 weekends. So we have it this weekend and then the following weekend. So anyways, very excited about Gears of War Reloaded. From the things that we saw, guys, I got to tell you, I know a lot of people within, especially Xbox's, side of things, a lot of Xbox players, they're like, Gears of War Reloaded is, basically just a copy and paste of Ultimate Edition with a couple of new features or whatever. But Gears of War Reloaded looks great. Like, just by seeing that trailer that they released, it looks outstanding to me. Like, graphically, it looks great. 120 frames per second, 4K resolution. I think this is going to be something really special. I want to talk though, about the multiplayer beta, and how you can gain access to it and things of that nature. So let me just switch screens here. And this is an article, guys, coming to us from Jamatsu, Sal Romano over there. And here's what they had to say. Gears of War Reloaded multiplayer beta weekend set for June 13th to the 15th, June 20th to the 22nd. So publisher Xbox Game Studios and developers, the Coalition, Sumo Digital, and Disbelief will host multiplayer beta test weekends for Gears of War Reloaded from June 13th to 15th and June 20th to the 22nd, the companies announced. So to gain access, players must either pre-order Gears of War Reloaded, have an active Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass membership, or own a digital copy of Gears of War Ultimate Edition. So if you have Game Pass, guys, you're going to be able to play the beta. Like, you're not going to have to necessarily pre-order the title. Now, I'm hoping, because it sounds like they're going to have limited copies of physical copies of Gears of War Reloaded that they're going to release to the world. I am hoping, I would love to get a physical copy of Gears of War Reloaded. But you can definitely, whether you have a Game Pass membership, or I should say Game Pass Ultimate membership, or you own the digital copy of Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you will have access to the beta. So the multiplayer beta weekend run runs June 13th to the 15th and features a social multiplayer experience in the classic team deathmatch mode across 3 maps, including the fan favorite Gridlock, as well as Raven Down and Gold Rush. So that's really exciting. So starts on Friday, the 13th, and it goes until Sunday, the 15th. And so that's going to be really, that's definitely something to look forward to, guys, here, very soon. We're going to get our hands on Gears of War Reloaded to really get a serious feel for how this game is going to operate, obviously there's a lot of things that we can kind of assume in terms of mechanics, gameplay, all of that stuff, but it's going to be really interesting to see from a graphic fidelity perspective and just the way the movement's going to be. Is it going to be very similar to Gears of War Ultimate Edition? Is it going to be similar to Gears of War 1 back in 2006? What changes are there? Things of that nature. Now, multiplayer beta Weekend 2 runs June 20th to the 22nd and adds the competitive King of the Hill mode on the map Canals being added to the mix, along with the map's Courtyard and War Machine for use in Team Deathmatch. So I'm really excited. First and foremost, with Weekend 1, we get Team Deathmatch, which is awesome. We're going to get a feel for how that looks and how that, the feeling that you get when playing Team Deathmatch. One of the most classic modes, obviously, in all of Gears of War. And we get, obviously, Gridlock, Raven Down, Gold Rush, great maps. Excited to see what that looks like. And then in week 2, of the beta, they're adding King of the Hill, which is really cool. And then, of course, you have Canals, Courtyard, and War Machine that will be in use for Team Deathmatch. So it looks like you're going to basically have Team Deathmatch is going to be the primary mode in Weekend 1, and then they're going to add King of the Hill and Team Deathmatch to Weekend 2. And then, of course, in terms of when it starts, Friday, June 20th, goes until Sunday, June 22nd. And Gears of War Reloaded is due out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam and Microsoft Store on August 26th. And I got to tell you guys, man, like when I saw this trailer, bro, I'm telling you right now, this trailer looked killer. Like, it looked killer. Let me see if I can boost this in terms of 4K resolution. Experience the groundbreaking original. I thought this looked so good, dude. I mean, yeah, look, we've played Gears of War 1 so many times, guys. We've played this game a lot. However, it looks outstanding. Like when I look at, obviously it's going multi-platform. And here's the thing, guys. What a lot of people in the Gears of War community don't quite understand. This is designed for PlayStation players. This really isn't, yes, it's for Xbox people or Xbox players, but this is designed for, PlayStation getting to experience Gears of War for the very first time. If you've only had a PlayStation console, you have never had the opportunity to play Gears of War. And so I think that this is designed specifically for PlayStation, and it's also designed in terms of if you want to look at, well, what does this do for Xbox players? Well, I'll tell you. What this is designed to do for Xbox players is this is designed to quench our thirst for Gears of War E-Day. So I think that this is going to be great. I really do. One of the things that I wanted to kind of mention here, obviously played day one with Game Pass. Let me see here. Where was this? Dude, just the trailer looks beautiful, dude, in 4K. Like, it looks so good. Am I tripping? What did I miss it? I must have missed it somewhere. Let's see. Okay, right here. So you got split screen co-op, which I think is really cool. You have split screen co-op, which is, look, that's another like classic mode that you had way back in the day. But it also, going to have co-op campaign. I want to break down. Let's kind of, I'll pause the trailer as we go here. But first and foremost, General ROM. And what I love about this, guys, if you look down at the bottom, it says in-game footage. And so that is really, really fascinating to me. Love it's fully in-game, like in-engine. And the graphics, it looks so good. Just look at this corpse. Dude, this one thing, Jeff and I were talking on the watch party. We were talking about how you could take like a screenshot of each frame, essentially, of the Gears of War Reloaded trailer, the official trailer, and it just, like I said, it looks in 4K quality, 120 frames per second. It looks outstanding. Jeannie says, not mentioning the beta in the trailer was a misstep for sure. Yeah, like I said, if I missed it, it's on me for sure. But at the very end of the trailer, I didn't see where I mean, this would have been a perfect opportunity for the coalition to announce the beta. Like, hey guys, the beta is available this upcoming weekend. And I just didn't see that. And so during the watch party, we were talking about that, Jeff and I was like, dude, this is a massive, you know, if they don't do a beta, that could be a real problem. Because for those of you who remember, Gears of War 2's multiplayer was unplayable at launch. And so when that came out, so we don't want an issue like that to happen. So a beta makes a ton of sense. And them announcing it on social media and not at the end of the trailer doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe, who knows? Did they forget? I don't know. But nonetheless, we're getting a beta, which is awesome news. They also want to make sure E-Day is going to be a smash hit. I feel like this is the best way they could do it. Yes, I agree. I think Gears of War Reloaded is designed, you know, to get all of the PlayStation community playing Gears of War, you know, just as a franchise, right? They play Gears of War Reloaded, they knock this thing out of the park, and then obviously this going multi-platform, cross-platform, this is going to be huge for Gears, because I think we might not see fully the benefits of, you know, what comes from Gears of War Reloaded in terms of it going multi-platform. We might not reap the benefits of that until Gears of War E-Day, because this is going to get a lot of hype and anticipation going for Gears of War E-Day. And I believe when Gears of War E-Day releases, it will also be multi-platform, going to Xbox as well as PlayStation. And so what would that look like? Well, what it's going to look like is Gears of War E-Day. If Gears of War Reloaded is knocked out of the park, Gears of War E-Day, if it releases on multi-platform similar to Reloaded, it will be the biggest Gears of War title of all time, and I don't even think it's going to be close. I really believe it is going to be that big, guys. It could be a significant game changer for Gears as a franchise. But yeah, just like the character models, like when you look at these character models, they look outstanding. I'm like, dude, when I think about it, I'm like, this is what Gears of War Reloaded looks like. And we saw the graphic fidelity of Gears of War E-Day. I think Gears of War E-Day is going to look outstanding. Now we got to wait and see, like, you know, gameplay and things of that nature when that comes out. But like, bro, I'm telling you, this looks so good. From the character models, and even the way that Marcus looks in this trailer, I mean, I think Marcus looks great compared to like the cover art that they used. He doesn't look anything, in my opinion, like he does on the cover art as he does in the game. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. You know, I got a lot of people like were giving me a hard time about it. I made a video talking about how I didn't like the way that Marcus looked in the cover art for Gears of War Reloaded compared to the way he looked in Gears of War back in 2006. Like, I just thought they made him look a lot more slim, not nearly as menacing. And a lot of people were like giving me a hard time about it. But one of the things here is Reloaded features 4K texture, 60 frames per second campaign, 120 frames per second multiplayer, and then of course HDR. So at the end of the day, guys, this is going to be the best looking Gears of War remaster, I mean, that the series has ever seen. I mean, look, Ultimate Edition was great, but this looks outstanding. Like, it really does. I was totally sold on it. I know we've played this campaign. We've played this a million times. But you know what? One thing I have not played in a very long time was Gears of War 1. You know, like, when we talk about, like, multiplayer, I really didn't get into the multiplayer until Gears of War 2. And if you guys remember, the Gears of War 2 multiplayer was so bad at launch. It was so bad. It was, like, unplayable. So we weren't even able to play it when it first released. Now, I obviously I was into Gears of War 2's multiplayer, but I really got into the multiplayer with Gears of War 3. So being able to go back, Gears of War 1, to play this multiplayer 120 frames per second with the 4K textures, I think this is going to be outstanding. And I will say this. One thing that I do really want to see is like horde mode or like a beast mode. And this was interesting because you see Rom chainsawing like a Carmine or whatever. And I'm like, okay, this is probably showing us multiplayer. Maybe this is like a multiplayer segment potentially. Or like, it'd be awesome, guys, if they brought back beast mode. I don't think they're going to do it with Reloaded because I believe beast mode came out in Gears of War 3, which was where it was kind of like a role reversal of horde mode where you played as the Locust and then you're, attacking the cog and stuff. And so anyways, I don't think they're going to do that here. I would love to see a horde mode. I'm not sure if they're going to do that. It doesn't sound like they are with Reloaded, but I think that there should be a case for, Gears of War Reloaded to get a horde mode. Let's keep moving here. Split screen co-op, we just talked about that. That's really cool. I'm excited that, you get split screen co-op. I can play with, you can play with your girlfriend, your wife. You have some buddies that come over. Co-op split screen, let's go. I love it. Winner of over 30 Game of the Year awards. I don't know, dude. I can't get over the graphics, man. I think that the character models look so good. And like I said, dude, you could take almost every single frame, bro, and it could be like a screensaver. It looks incredible, man. What else did I want to talk about with this trailer? I mean, dude, there's so much positive stuff to talk about with the trailer. And I know, everybody has an issue with, in the Gears community has an issue with this being, just another Gears of War remaster, And I understand people being upset about it. But see, this is what I'm talking about really quick. Look at this character model of Marcus. He just looks, is it just me or does he look super thin here? And then the frame before this, we got Marcus looking like a dog, bro. I don't know, bro. He just looks way more like just menacing or something. I don't know. He just looks like so slimmed out in this cover art. And look, it's just a cover art. It doesn't mean that the game's going to be, positive or negative in one way or another. But when I compare the cover art to 2006's Gears of War, it's not even comparable, dude. He looks so much better in 2006's, cover art. But I digress. Gears of War Reloaded, August 26th, obviously, guys. Beta is coming out this weekend. Did they show? They didn't, dude. They didn't. This is what I'm talking about. I was kind of shocked by that because they never showed that why did they not show in the trailer that the beta was going to be like the beta weekends? They use social media for that. So if you're a PlayStation player, right, who has never played Gears of War before, and you see this trailer and you're like, oh, dude, it's going to come to PlayStation? Awesome. But if you didn't know that there was a beta coming out this upcoming weekend, I don't know. It's just, to me, I thought this was a really missed opportunity for them to show off, just a snippet at the end saying the beta is going to be live this upcoming weekend and then the weekend after. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I mean, overall, I'm totally blown away by the Gears of War Reloaded trailer. I thought it looked absolutely incredible, even though it was my first, let's bring it in really quick. This is the first game, guys, that I ever played on the Xbox 360. When I purchased my Xbox 360, it came with Gears of War 1. And so I never heard of it, obviously. It was like, a new IP. I put that in and I got completely sold on the franchise from the rip and love Gears of War 1. It has a very special place in my heart. So having it remastered, reloaded like this could be something really special I mean, even for like, fans of the franchise who have been fans for a long time, but especially new people who are coming into the fray, that being like PlayStation people, I think, yeah. Anyways, a lot of people were mentioning that, Marcus on the cover art kind of looks like a Fortnite character, and he actually is in Fortnite. But yeah, I just thought when I saw that cover art, I just wasn't a huge fan. Jeannie says either it's the perspective or the cover art is CG. Yeah, I don't know. I just compare it to what, we got with Gears of War back in 2006. Let me just pull this up for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. I'm sure a lot of you have already, you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. But, let's see. That's not a good picture. Like, look. You see how, like, he just looks way... Oh. Hold on a sec. Okay, this will give you a good idea of what I'm talking about. You see how right here you have this image of Marcus, and then in the back here you have this image of Marcus. So you can see like the comparison between the two of them. You have one where he looks like an absolute like menace, like total badass. And then you go to this one, and he kind of, like I said, just looks more like a Fortnite character. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but the way I see it, I think that he just looked better back in 2006. But I'll stop ranting about that, guys. I'll stop. What's up, Alyssa? Sup? You're on stream. So, anyways, let's see. What was the next thing that I was going to talk about? Okay. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is Gears of War E-Day and the lack thereof of Gears of War E-Day content at the Xbox Game Showcase. So let's talk about that. We were hoping to see... There were a number of games that we were hoping to see at the Xbox Game Showcase. One of them being, obviously, guys, Gears of War Reloaded because it's a couple of months out. But Gears of War E-Day would have been awesome. State of Decay 3 would have been awesome to see. An update on Fable if they were working on a new Halo game. Perfect Dark, Mass Effect. There's a lot of games. Elder Scrolls 6, obviously, we've been waiting for... just so long, it's insane. But obviously, the main ones, Gears of War, right? Gears of War E-Day specifically, because that's the big one that fans of Xbox, of just the future of, the Gears of War franchise, we're excited about Reloaded, but we're really excited about E-Day because that's the true continuation of this franchise. Even though you're going back in time in a prequel, this will kind of set up Gears of War 1, right? So, or it should, or who knows? Maybe they're planning on doing multiple sequels around E-Day. Maybe they do a Pendulum Wars title. It's hard to say, but nonetheless, where was Gears of War Reloaded at the Xbox Game Showcase? And this brings up an interesting point because I've stated a number of times on the YouTube channel, on the YouTube videos, guys, I've stated, look, I think that Gears of War Reloaded comes out in August, right? And then if we look into the future, Gears of War Reloaded is designed to kind of set up Gears of War E-Day for when it releases. And I thought that Gears of War Reloaded coming out in August, they would announce Gears of War E-Day for a fall of 2026 release date. So I was thinking Halloween 2026. That gives us like, a little bit over a year of Gears of War Reloaded. I did not think that Gears of War E-Day was going to release in 2025. Contrary to a lot of people, like a lot of articles that were written and, reports, rumors, speculation that Gears of War E-Day was going to come out this year, I never believed or bought that that was going to happen. So, yeah, I think there's a good chance that E-Day will still release in 2026. I would have loved to see, like we were talking earlier, I would have loved to see a snippet at the end of the Gears of War Reloaded trailer where it would have announced the beta so that everybody from PlayStation's perspective and Xbox's perspective knows the beta's coming. But I also would have loved to see a quick snippet at the end that shows off a Gears of War E-Day release date. Could have been just a quick cinematic, that showed the release date for like a quick release date trailer for Gears of War E-Day. Now, what I think is more than likely going to happen, either if Xbox decides to do a showcase in the fall, I think what we might get an announcement of is Gears of War E-Day being a direct, similar to what we got with the Outer Worlds direct right after the Xbox Game Showcase. I think Gears of War E-Day is the next one that's going to get that. So like the summer showcase of 2026 will be Gears of War E-Day as a direct. I think that very well might be happening, which would be awesome because then you'd have an entire direct for them to, dissect and go over Gears of War E-Day for a fall 2026 release. I'm thinking, like I said, October, Halloween 2026 is when I think Gears of War E-Day is going to release. Now, I'm hoping that they don't have any, hopefully there's no delays or anything of that nature, because if you guys didn't know, the Coalition is not only working on Gears of War Reloaded as well as Gears of War E-Day, they are helping Undead Labs work on State of Decay 3, which I mentioned on the watch party for the Xbox Game Showcase with Jeff. We were talking about how we're getting a little bit concerned about State of Decay 3 just because they're getting all this help and we're still not hearing much, And I mean, yeah, they did show off a second trailer back in 2024's Xbox Showcase, but it's supposed to be coming out in 2026. It got moved from 2025 to 2026. I thought State of Decay 3 was going to come out, beginning of 2026. I don't think that's going to happen now. And so maybe State of Decay 3 is going to have to go, move into the mid of the year or the end of the year. But you really don't want to be in the middle of the year because you got GTA 6 in May. And then the end of the year, you've got Gears of War E-Day, and then more than likely another Call of Duty, which don't even get me started on COD, guys. I mean, I was gobsmacked, flabbergasted of what they showed us for Black Ops 7. I was completely shell-shocked when I saw that. But if you're releasing a game in the fall, you're still going to be going up against Call of Duty. And what's funny about it is Gears of War E-Day comes out in October more than likely, and then you've got Call of Duty coming out probably in November, which is another Xbox IP, and State of Decay maybe comes out September of next year. I'm not sure. Maybe State of Decay will just get pushed back or delayed again. It's really hard to say. I should say that Xbox has had a problem with having to delay their projects for multiple years, like delays, creative differences, development hell cycles. I mean, I'm very concerned about Fable. I don't know about you guys. I'm very concerned about Fable. Definitely have some concern for State of Decay 3. And our beloved Gears of War, we do not want to see that happen here with E-Day. I don't think it will, but, I'll be sure to keep you guys all up to speed as we get more information about, Gears of War E-Day and what, as more information comes out about it. Let's see. Okay. That being said, Gears of War E-Day is without question, outside of Gears of War Reloaded, my most anticipated game of the future. I am so excited for E-Day, guys. And I'm very excited about Reloaded as well because it's right around the corner. I mean, we're going to get our hands on Reloaded this weekend with the beta. And I think the beta is going to tell us a lot about the game, at least from a multiplayer perspective. But it even could tell us some things about the campaign as well, which I will certainly play the campaign again. But the multiplayer is what a lot of us Xbox fans are excited about because we've played the campaign a number of times, right? So let's talk about the beta, like some pre-order guides, bonuses, platforms, release date. Let's talk about that here, kind of switching gears back over to Gears of War Reloaded. So look here. Okay, where are we at? Okay, right here. Josh Coulson over at The Gamer. The dominoes have gradually been falling when it comes to Xbox releasing its exclusives on rival consoles, and until it finally caves and gives PlayStation a Halo game, Gears of War is the biggest domino to fall so far. Gears of War Reloaded is a remaster of the first game in the series, and for the first time in Gears of War history, the game will be available to play on PlayStation, launching on Xbox Series XS, PS5, and PC on the same day. Now, I don't know how much bigger Halo is than Gears. I really don't know. I don't think it's a massive gap, but Gears of War going to PlayStation, Gears of War will quickly, I think, will quickly become bigger than Halo until Halo becomes, available on PlayStation as well, just because there's 75 million units of PlayStation 5 consoles that were sold and only 33 million Xbox Series X and S consoles sold. So you're reaching a huge player base with PlayStation 5. Regardless of the platform on which you plan to play, Gears of War Reloaded will be here on August 26, 2025. The perfect way to revisit the series or play a Gears of War game for this first time ahead of Gears of War E-Day, a prequel that Xbox has now confirmed will be here in 2026. So they're saying that, right? E-Day will come out in 2026, but we didn't hear anything from E-Day at the Xbox Game Showcase, which would have been a great opportunity. Now, once again, guys, I think that there's a really good chance that they are going to have a Gears of War E-Day direct at the next Xbox Game Showcase, next June. I think that they're going to have a heavy emphasis on E-Day, but the fact of the matter is they didn't show us anything this Xbox Game Showcase, and maybe they just wanted everyone to focus on Reloaded this time. That would make total sense, and then the next one they show E-Day. Hard to say. But there are not multiple editions of Gears of War Reloaded to choose from. Good news, though, having a hard enough time deciding which platform you're going to play it on. But bad news for those who would have been willing to pay a little extra to get some bonus stuff, especially when at $39.99 Reloaded is a very reasonably priced game. Even though you can't pay more for an edition of Reloaded that includes more stuff, you can get a little extra by placing a pre-order for the remaster. Reloaded's pre-order bonuses are additional skins for Marcus Phoenix and Civilian Anya. Playing a pre-order will also get you access to the cross-platform beta, which begins on June 13th. It spans 2 weekends, and naturally, if you're reading this closer to release day, you've already missed out on the beta. Okay. Beta, awesome, guys. Really excited about this beta. I think that the beta is going to tell us a lot, like I mentioned. Where to pre-order Gears of War Reloaded? Obviously, guys, you can pre-order it, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, and then, of course, your normal sites, right? Okay, playing on Game Pass and upgrading your Ultimate Edition. So Gears of War Reloaded is an Xbox game, even if you can play it on PlayStation 5. That means it will be coming to Game Pass Ultimate on day one. You don't have to miss out on the beta if you want to experience it early, though. Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will be able to take part in the beta weekends without having to place a pre-order. So for those of us that play Xbox Game Pass or have an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, we're going to be able to play it immediately, guys, which is awesome. I personally also would like to have a physical copy. I know that they're not making a lot of those, it sounds like, but I personally would love to have a physical copy of the title. There's also the Ultimate Edition of it all. In 2015, Xbox released an Ultimate Edition of the original Gears of War. Despite a decade passing since then, if you own the Ultimate Edition, you'll be able to upgrade to Reloaded for free on August 26. You will also be able to take part in the beta without placing a pre-order if you own the Ultimate Edition. So, awesome. Let's talk about what Gears of War Reloaded is going to include, guys. And for those of you who don't know, Gears of War Reloaded will include a remastered version of the original game. Awesome. With all of its DLC. Perfect. The multiplayer mode, which I think, you know what, guys? There was a lot of rumor and speculation when we were talking about the Gears of War collection that it was going to be a remaster of all 3 games, but it was going to have no multiplayer. The fact that this has multiplayer is so huge. Guys, you guys can go back on the channel and you can watch a lot of the videos that I talked about Gears of War's collection, or, you know, the multiplayer specifically, that it would be the biggest missed opportunity of all time if Gears of War Reloaded did not have a multiplayer mode. Because you have all these people that are going to be coming into the fray from PlayStation, and if you don't have a multiplayer mode to bring you back to the experience over and over again, a lot of those players are going to move on to other games. But they have a multiplayer mode as well as bonus content. Now, what the bonus content is, that's going to be interesting. If it's going to be like, I don't know if they're going to have some kind of battle pass or something of that nature. It'll be interesting to see what kind of bonus content. What I would love, guys, I would love to see Horde mode brought in so that PlayStation players can get a chance to see and play Horde mode. Because I look at Gears of War as a full package. You know, you have your campaign, your multiplayer modes, and your co-op modes. And with all those different things, it gives you so much stuff to do within the game. Whether you want to play the campaign by yourself or with your friends, you want to jump in multiplayer and, you know, start going super hard through the ranks and the re-ups and all of that. Or if you want to do co-op modes by playing Horde mode. I mean, dude, could we get a Beast mode? Beast mode coming back would be awesome. I think that we'll probably get Beast mode return with the Gears of War 3 Reloaded, because it came out with Gears of War 3, but that would be awesome. I don't think that they're going to bring back Hive Busters. Maybe, probably not. You know, that would be something that they would probably bring back in like Gear 6 whenever they get back around to that. But nonetheless, they're going to have bonus content. Obviously, Gears of War Reloaded, guys, is just the first game in the Gears of War series. This is a remaster, not a remake. So, look, man, I got to tell you guys, from everything that we have seen so far, let me turn that off. From everything that we have seen so far for Gears of War Reloaded, it looks outstanding. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, like in the comment section down below. Once again, dude, like, I want to watch this again, like in 4K quality, homie. Like, let's go, bro. But I want to hear, like, what you guys think in the comment section down below about all of these things. Jeannie says, I already pre-ordered it on PS5. Glad we're getting Anya Stroud to play as. Yeah, 1,000%. I'm happy that you pre-ordered it already on PlayStation. It's going to be a great time. And guys, by the way, when the beta comes out, we are going to be playing with many of you. So if you guys are trying to squad up in multiplayer on Gears of War Reloaded during the beta, let's go, baby. Let's do it. I'm excited to get some squads together, grind through the ranks of the beta. It'll be interesting to see, you know, one of the questions that has been coming up is like, how many ranks are they going to have? You know, or are they going to have like some kind of rank up system in the beta? Or is it just going to be, you know, like you don't, because you know how like with Call of Duty, when they have the beta, you can usually like rank up to a certain level. I wonder if they're going to have that with the beta, or if there's any like cosmetic skins that you can earn in the beta that transfer over to Gears of War Reloaded when it releases to the actual multiplayer. I wonder if there will be like some earnable items that we can get through the beta that will translate or transfer over to the main game. That'll be really interesting. But I'm definitely excited to play this game, play with a lot of you guys. The beta is going to tell us a ton about this game. And once again, it's not a final product, right? When you play Gears of War Reloaded's beta, that's not final. What the beta is designed to do, obviously, is to see what they're doing right, that being the Coalition, what they're doing wrong, and what they can do better moving forward before launch. That they can, any game-breaking bugs or glitches or matchmaking issues, they can refine and make sure that all that stuff is fleshed out well before the game comes out in August. And I mean, they don't have a lot of time, but we've got 2 weekends of the beta. So they're going to be able to get a lot of data from us, from the community. They're going to get tons of data. And I think that there's reason to be very excited for what Gears of War Reloaded is going to encompass for us. And I'm really interested to see what that bonus content is, for the title, whether it's going to be, different cosmetic items that we can earn in game, whether it's going to be, adding other co-op modes like Horde mode, Beast mode, stuff like that. I'm really interested to see all of the stuff that they're planning in terms of the roadmap. Because the way that we've got to look at this, guys, is the roadmap for Gears of War Reloaded will more than likely be a little bit over a year. So when we think about it, Gears of War Reloaded comes out in August of this year. Gears of War E-Day, rumored to come out fall of 2026. So probably October 2026. So this game has got to have a roadmap to basically get us to, October of next year. And I think that they should easily be able to have a roadmap that gets us there, right? A game that's fully supported. Because obviously, guys, Gears of War, Gears 5 is no longer being supported by the Coalition. Gears Esports is no longer, shut down after Gears 5. Will we get Gears Esports to return? Oh, bro, I am praying that Gears of War Reloaded brings back esports. Or I should say Gears Esports. I'm hoping that this brings us back to a place where Gears Esports returns in a major way, and then we are full-blown back with Gears of War E-Day. From an esports perspective, just from a whole community perspective, right? I mean, if you really think about it, we've been kind of in a dark age of Gears of War. I believe the first dark age of Gears was during Gears of War Judgment. I thought it was such a massive step in the wrong direction, coming off of the hottest game in the Gears of War franchise, in my opinion, that being Gears of War 3. Then you release Judgment, and it was just a massive step in the wrong direction. And we kind of went into this, limbo state of Gears of War, not knowing really what the future held. And then the Coalition came into the fray, get Ultimate Edition, Gears of War 4, which, like I said, I mean, it's taken them a little while to kind of get their footing, but I think they're starting to figure it out, what they're really trying to do. I mean, Gears of War E-Day seems like the first game where I'm like, okay, the Coalition, I think they're starting to understand the fan base in a pretty major way now. They had Ultimate Edition, then they had, Gears of War 4, Gears 5. There were things that I liked about Gears of War 4, there were things I liked about Gears 5, but there were definitely things that were steps in the wrong direction. Semi-open world, or teasing a full open world scenario, stuff like that. And I just don't think it landed super well with a lot of people, myself included. But now, I mean, guys, we're almost back. Gears feels back to me. In ways that we haven't really seen in a long time. And I'm really excited about that. I think when I look at the ecosystem of where we were and where we're going, I am truly excited about Gears. I'm very excited to see what the future holds here with Gears of War. I think there's a lot of excitement, and things that we can talk about and dissect moving forward. And guys, in future live streams, just so you guys know, we are going to be dissecting, breaking down everything from Gears of War Reloaded. We will certainly be going live this weekend for the beta. which I think is going to be something really special. I'm incredibly excited about the beta. And, break down the lore, the things that we can, see if there's any Easter eggs that we can find within Gears of War Reloaded that can give us teases or hints to what to expect in Gears of War E-Day. And of course, guys, I'm going to be breaking down so much content for you guys when it comes to Gears of War E-Day. I mean, obviously, the main focus right now is Gears of War Reloaded because it's coming out very shortly. I mean, as soon as this weekend with the beta. But then what I mean, though, is moving forward after Gears of War Reloaded releases, we're going to be dissecting, breaking down everything within Gears of War Reloaded. And we're also going to be looking to the future, that being Gears of War E-Day. And all of the rumors, speculation, all the news, the leaks, everything that Gears of War E-Day is going to, kind of present to us, we're going to be breaking down here on the YouTube channel. And I wanted to tell you guys, I'm really grateful for each and every one of you for being on this journey with us. I promise, guys, that, since we made a dedication to Gears of War, we are going to have consistent Gears of War content on the channel, for the foreseeable future. Moving forward, all we're going to be making is Gears content on the channel. And, whether it's live streams like this or doing, full-blown breakdown videos of lore and like news and things of that nature surrounding Reloaded, E-Day, the future of Gears, Gears 6, Gears 7, the Gears of War movie, a Gears of War Pendulum Wars title, maybe an E-Day, sequel, something of that nature. There's so much to be excited about being a Gears of War fan right now. And I'm really appreciative and grateful for all of you for joining us on this journey. If you guys enjoyed this and you guys want us to continue doing live streams on the channel, or you guys want to continue to see a lot of this content and excited about it, make sure that you guys leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, just keep grinding. And one last thing I want to mention before I get off here, I want to mention that a lot of people have asked us about what kind of gear we use within the space, like in terms of like our microphones, headsets, all of that stuff. I left a link in the description with all of our gear that we use. And so you guys can check out all the different gear that we use within Zero Dark and what we use for our podcast, for our shows and all that stuff. And then also, guys, if you guys have not already, we're starting to get people that are joining our memberships on the channel. I really appreciate all of the members that are joining us. You get exclusive content from us if you join the channel and join our memberships. And I'm really, really grateful and appreciative to all of you guys for that. But once again, Jeannie says, glad to be here. I appreciate you, Jeannie. Thanks for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We got a ton of content coming in the future. I appreciate each and every one of you, as always, for joining me. And like I said, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, just keep grinding. And as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace out, guys.